of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Well, we are going to have one of our favorite guests. They're all favorite, but some of them are favorite on the December 4th, like today. Bill Meridian from Cycles Research will be on at the half hour to talk to us about what he's looking at. But we'll start out here with the DAX like we usually do. As you can see, it's been under some pressure. Following the patterns relatively nicely, but certainly going in a different direction than what we've been seeing in our stock market. There's been a lot of talk, of course, of what happened Friday with the gentleman from ABC, Brian Ross, coming out with a statement during the market that was interpreted the wrong way or the right way, depending on what side of the market you were on. And then, of course, the market came back, and with they're coming out and saying this was bad reporting. The market gaps up over 220 points today. So we'll see. Now, this is a very unusual, folks, because we do have a Bradley stock model date today on December the 4th. That's a compilation of the full moon that we had on December 2nd. We had Mercury retrograde. And if you remember, those three things together have led to some pretty strong cycle tops and cycle bottoms over the years. But, you know, as we say, we live in interesting times. So who knows? With these big gaps that we're having, it makes it really difficult to keep your losses small, especially if you're holding an overnight position. When the market gaps up, I think it gapped up 180 Dow points on Sunday night. I think it was about 20 S&P points and about 35 or 40 NASDAQ points. So these are really difficult. The easier way to do it, of course, is to wait for the market to trade freely in the middle of the night or Sunday evening from around 6 o'clock New York time till around midnight. It was trading very, very quietly. In fact, there was virtually no volatility at all, which is, really quite unusual. Getting on to the rest of these markets, you'll notice here, this is the FTSE 100. That's the London market. You'll notice that we stopped right at a 61% retracement here just a couple of days ago. What did we do? We rallied up. We made an ABCD down right at the 78% level, and now we've had a little bit of a rally. So this one is still in a downtrend, but at least had some type of a bottoming formation coming in as we see this. Now, the news that we're seeing, folks, is not just related to the stock market. I want to bring one up here looking at a cross rate because this is related to that FTSE chart. This is the chart of the pound versus the U.S. dollar. And as you can see here, over the past 5 days, we made a beautiful ABCD pattern right at the 382 retracement. And during that time, Theresa May was struggling because there was something going wrong with Brexit. And then, as you can see, about a couple hours ago, things changed, and bada bing, bada boom, away it went. So now we're either going to be forcing a double top up here at this 135.45, but anything above that 135.70 has got 138.50 written all over it in that British pound. It's got a chance to have a really, really strong rally here from where we're sitting. If you take a look at this on a weekly basis, you'll see that could very easily happen. But again, we're sitting right at major resistance again at this 135.50 level. One of the things that I focused on in the newsletter this week was the long-term implications of some of these patterns that we're watching in foreign exchanges, because for some reason there is a tendency for the foreign exchange markets to have trend changes around the first of the year, which starts around the 15th of December, the holiday season, all the way through the 15th of January. Now, someone's asked a question about this Bradley date. The way that comes up, folks, is what you do is you have to wait the aspects that are occurring on that particular date. So if you've got some really big planetary things, that gives you a really strong probability. And one of the strongest that you can have is the Mercury retrograde direct, which it's retrograde now. And then you also have the full moon, and then you also had perigee, when the Earth is as close to the moon that it can get, and we were also right on the equator. So this was a really big day today. So whether it's going to have any effect on some of this stuff, we'll have to wait and see. Now, we've had a situation happening in the Treasury bond market that I think we should pay attention to, because we're very oversold in the Treasury bond market, and even with the announcement with that fellow from ABC, even the bonds had a pretty substantial move. They rallied, well over 1.5 points without any trouble at all. But let's take a look here at these Treasury bonds this morning, and you'll be able to see a very interesting pattern here. Since the end of October, you'll notice that we've completed an ABCD pattern here on Friday down at that 151 level. If you remember, we talked about the importance of it holding above 151, because below 151 sets up something around the 147 level just on the ABCD of this move. So this is important. The other thing is that this is still a bearish market, folks. Even if we get up to this 156 level, and we're trading around 152 and change right now, this is still basically a bear market. But it's in an area where we could get a bounce, because over the last month, we've had pretty much of a sideways to down market, completing this Gartley that we had here at the 151.20 level. And now it has this possibility of getting up to this 156.12 level. So this is what we're seeing. We're seeing the same pattern, folks, in the Treasury note market, but it has also been a situation where the shorter term rates also had some type of a very nice bottom forming here. You'll notice here that we had this butterfly pattern form here on Friday. We haven't had much of a rally in the Treasury notes, but that's an important spot, to watch, because Friday's low is going to be very important for both the bonds and the Treasury notes, because we had the rally, which says, yes, this could be a bottom, but there has to be follow through, and that's the key. So 151.20 is the number to watch. That's a point from where we are right now, one full point. We're about a half a point away in the Treasury notes, because even though they're larger in size, they don't have the volatility that we have in the Treasury bonds. So this is a very important one to be watching. Another one of the bigger ones that's happening right now is the crude oil. It's also setting at a major 61% retracement here at the 57.60 level. If it can hold that level, that's a 61% retracement off of the last few days. That could tell us that this could be a spot where you want to be possibly taking a look. Now, well, we got to take a break here. 877-927-6648. We'll have Bill Meridian at the break.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, folks, we're going to put up the chart here of the Apple. This is going on a weekly chart. We're trading at around 172.30 this morning in Apple. The high has been 176.17. If you'll notice on this long-term weekly chart, that is a beautiful three-drive pattern with a perfect ABCD structure. We've gotten as low as 167 here over the last few days, but this market is actually acting a little weaker than the stock market. So this three-drive pattern is very, very important. Anything above 176 would negate this three-drive pattern, and that could certainly happen given the fact that we're in such a really strong, newsworthy environment. And this is, right in the time where we have, Mercury in retrograde motion when, this is what the ancients said, that Mercury being the planet of communication will cause, problems. President Reagan, his wife, Nancy, was very strong into astrology, and she wouldn't allow him to sign anything of any significance during the time when Mercury was in retrograde motion. They got a lot of heat for that, but he had done so many good things, I guess, it didn't really make any difference. I think the main thing that he did do was the Berlin Wall when it came down in November of 1988. That is, I think, the biggest thing. Regarding that, I have to tell you a funny story. I was writing my Astro Cycles newsletter that I started in 1987, and that I wrote it through 1993. I just got tired of writing it. And but what happened was, I said on my newsletter that week that if this wasn't one of the biggest things to happen for the year, that everybody would get a free year's subscription. That's how strongly I felt about November the 9th of 1988. There were a whole bunch of things happening, but there were two major planetary things. I can't remember. I think it was Neptune or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was used, and we've only had 3 samples over a period of 140 years, and each of those was very important. And what happened was nothing really happened except that it was the fall of the Berlin Wall, which was on every major thing. And it was really a big, I believe it was November of 88, as I recall. It might have been 89, but I think it was 88. But my memory's not like it used to be, that's for sure. I'm pretty sure it was November the 9th of 1988. So we'll see we'll see what happened. I believe it was 1988. I'll check it. Well, I'm sure that Norm Winsky will remind me because he keeps a close eye on what I say. But I believe that's when it was. We'll check it at the break. Someone's saying 89. It could have been 88 or 89. I don't think it was 89. The reason why, I think he was out of office by then. Yes, he was out of office in 89. He was a president from 1980 through 88. So it had to be November of 88. That's my guess. But here again, we'll double. Somebody on Google, you guys really smart guys out there, while I'm chatting away. Here, Marshall's telling me it's November the 9th, 1989. And I don't understand how that could be because he was president from 1980 through 1988, as I recall, 4 years. Why would that be? But I remember him saying, oh, well, let's see. Anyway, we'll see what happens with this. Anyway, it was August 13th, 1961 when they put up the Berlin Wall. So, well, it's gone now. Anyway, it came down when he was out, but it helped. Okay, that's what it was. He was not the president at that time, but he did want Khrushchev to bring that. Was it Khrushchev? Gorbachev. He wanted Gorbachev to bring it down, and it did happen. But it was on November the 9th. I remember the date. It was the year that's wrong. But that was a big. That was on every newspaper, every magazine in the world. But nothing really happened. So we'll see what happens with these. Okay, let's get on to some of these markets, folks. The Dow Jones has been the leader of the pack here. We've had a situation where we've had a really big move in the Dow where some of the other stocks have not really done as well. And particularly one we're looking at, of course, is Apple. That's another one that is telling us that we're right at an area with that 3-drive pattern in Apple that could be really, really significant. And remember, it's just a pattern, and patterns do have a tendency to fail, but this is a weekly pattern that is very, very perfect symmetrically, and I think that's one of the reasons why you want to pay particular attention to it. As I mentioned before, we will have Bill Meridian on here just a little bit. We just made the exact Fibonacci number on the January WTI West Texas Intermediate Crude down at the 57.55. That was the last. That was the exact number. We're now trading at 57.68. Whether that's going to mean too much or not, we'll have to wait and see. Regarding the U.S. dollar index, folks, this market, as we said last week, had completed that big ABCD pattern that was so very, very important. And we want to bring that up because this could mean that we're looking at much lower prices in the euro. We're down quite a bit. Steve Rhodes just told us that it was in June of 1987 that Reagan came out with tear down this wall. So thanks a lot for Steve for that information. So I hope that helps. And I hope you got your data from Jim Flanagan too. If you have any trouble with that, Steve, let me know, because Jim and I have been friends for many, many years, even though he's quite a bit younger than me. And he is the premier GAN guy in the world for GAN educators. And he's got a great database. But I believe Jim Twentyman has a database equal to his. So if you don't get it there, let me know, because Jim and I have kept this base up for well over 40 years, so we do have a lot of data out there. Anyway, that's why you go back and check these things to see if there's any things that happened on these astro dates, and we do have an astro date today, folks. This is a big Bradley date, and of course the Bradley has not been doing very well. That's the understatement of the year, especially since October 12th, because it's supposed to have had a really nice a move there on October 12th, and it did absolutely nothing. But now we're in this retrograde motion with the full moon and perigee, so it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens today and tomorrow. It might take a day or two to kick in, but when you have these gaps of plus 250 points on the Dow Jones and stuff, this is very, very interesting things, to see what's going to back and see what's going to happen. Anyway, as we're watching some of these things, and I noticed that they're talking a little bit about Martin Armstrong, who's a very, very smart fellow from Armstrong Economics, talking about, the deficits and all this other stuff. And I really believe that the real problem in the world is not anything to do with gold or anything else, but the real problem is in what's happening in the Treasury yields. And if we look here, 1941, that's an interesting year. If we put this up here, you'll notice that we have been in a, wildly swinging market here. You remember September 1981? Look at T-bill yields. Can you believe that? 15.78 in T-bill yields. That is 10 times higher than where they are right now, boys and girls. That's pretty much we'll be able to see. Peak, I don't remember what that saying was, trust you but verify, but I think that was I thought that was Bush, but I don't even know. I follow so little of that stuff. Anyway, we got Bill Meridian coming up, and don't want to miss that. It's going to be fun. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless, and we'll be right back after these few words.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe we have Bill Meridian from Cycles Research, Vienna, Austria, on the line. Bill, are you there? Oh dear, this is not a good sign. Maybe we have lost Bill. Hopefully we haven't, because I certainly was looking forward to listening to what he was having to say. If anybody at TFNN can give me a little help here, I would certainly appreciate it. But he is hopefully going to be, he was just on the line just a second ago, so maybe it's just a temporary
Hello,
lull
Larry?
here. Hey, Bill, there you are. Sorry, I was
I'm
not
right here.
able to. Oh, great. Listen, Bill, before you get started with your slides, we have three questions. They're all the same question. How do you view what's happening in Saudi Arabia with all the changes politically? What's going on? Could you give us your view of that?
Well, that's the first question I'm answering with the slides.
Oh, well, there you go. Let's get this. Let's just start. I posted your first slide already, so I'm ready. Do you want to start with the chart for the Saudi eclipse?
Yeah, well, today's perspectives, that's the page 2.
Okay, all righty. I got that one up there. Pull this up. Okay, let's get it up here. Did
So
you
that's
attend
where,
any? Did you
that's what
attend any of the meetings over there in Vienna?
the OPEC meetings? No.
Yeah. Okay. You
No.
you got the mic. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay, well, if we go to the next page, which is page 3,
Okay.
a lot of I call this a foundation chart. These countries just don't start up on a given day. It's usually a long, slow process. And if you don't know, we know in the year 1744, the House of Saud, in combination with the Wahhabi sect, formed what is the current government. We don't have a day. So what you do in that case is you take the most appropriate eclipse and set it for the capital, which was October 7, 1744. The eclipse was at 13 Libra, and this is a chart I've used. It's been accurate in the past. So that is the earliest chart I can find. And now here, second is Saudi Arabia, the modern state, which is January 15th, 1902, with the Sun Jupiter at 24 Capricorn, and this is one of only 2 national horoscopes that have the Sun conjunct in longitude, 24 Capricorn, but also in latitude, which means it's a linear configuration. And that is like a planetary eclipse. The other one is the United States, which explains why they're so wealthy. And that, of course, is where Pluto is headed. And it's good we've scheduled this call now because I just had an Egyptian visitor from Dubai in town over the weekend. And number one, Prince Salman wants to, number one, consolidate power, number 2, eliminate corruption, and number 3, liberalize the country and bring it up into more modern times. And what has happened is those people who have what are perceived as ill-gotten gains were locked up until they agreed to give some of those gains back. And this has made Salman extremely popular with the man on the street who doesn't necessarily benefit. It's not like the UAE where they take care of everybody. And so you've got a disaffected, resentful class at the bottom. So this is going a long way toward eliminating that. And my overall view of this is positive. If we go to the next slide, in the 1902 chart, these are the danger points. I think April 2018 progressed Mars is squared up natal Mars, and the July 18th, the July 2018 eclipse is opposite the Sun and Saturn. So I think those are the 2 danger points this year. But I think Prince Salman's chart is his Mars is in about the same, somewhat the same degree as Donald Trump. So he's in about somewhat the same position. He's draining the swamp and he's meeting a lot of opposition. This next eclipse will be opposite his Mars. The last one was conjunct. And his Sun, by the way, which I don't think I put in here, but I can just tell you, he was born 8/31/1985 with the Sun at 8 Virgo. Now, if you remember, there were eclipses at Virgo, Capricorn, right at that degree. That's what propelled him into power. That's very frequent. Very frequently we see that in eclipse analysis. So then the big one, the yellow one here, is April 2019 through to 2020. Pluto will go right over the Sun-Jupiter conjunction, which I would regard as now as the beginning of a period. That's going to be a period of major restructuring. And these other dates that I have in here, lunar eclipse, conjunct the Sun, lunar eclipse opposite Saturn, opposite Pluto. The 2020 eclipse, a solar eclipse, 0 Sun, conjunct the Sun, that's most frequently when you see a leadership change. So I don't think anything is going to change in the way of leadership there. The elderly king may die because his Sun is 8 Capricorn and Saturn is headed right toward that degree. So this Prince Salman may very well wind up the ruler, and I don't think he faces a lot of challenges like Donald Trump is. But I think the years to watch are 2019 and 2020, and of course the Saudis are now allowing women to drive and to have some representation in politics, and they'll be selling shares of Aramco. And so the foundation chart, the solar eclipse in August is conjunct Mars. The solar eclipse in January 2019 is opposite Neptune. And the progressed sun at the same time will be conjunct Neptune. So it looks like this, to me, seems like a great deal of opposition. And as my Egyptian friend here said over the weekend, this is very popular with the man in the street, but he has a very small minority of wealthy people whom he's alienated, and he's going to have to watch his back, which is exactly what I think from looking at the chart. But in Prince Salman's chart, I do not find, I find these eclipses, his Mars is 24 Leo, Donald Trump's is 26 Leo. So here we have two world leaders, both draining swamps, both stirring up the muck, getting a lot of opposition. But I don't think either one of them is knocked out of power. Jupiter has moved into Scorpio, which is where Salman does have some of his planets, although not a lot. So overall, I regard it as, and using contrary opinion, I had so many calls from the United Arab Emirates from my old friends asking me, that's why I did this analysis, asking me what I think is going to happen, because to them, of course, this is a major player there, and they can't go under, but I don't think that they will. So I regard
the question we have, and you alluded to it a little bit. He has to watch his back. I mean, they have we haven't had any assassinations over there for a while. So is that a possibility, given the fact that he's caused so much problems with money over there?
Not before 2020, I don't think.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. One other question is, do you think that the Saudis are trying to push up the price of oil like they usually do during this time?
Oh, of course.
Okay, that's the answer to that question. Oh.
So if you go to page 6, it just reiterates some of the points that I made. Stop corruption, get some money back, liberalize, loved by the average Saudi, unpopular with the wealthiest, in danger. And so, here's Prince Salman's chart. It's the very next one on page 7.
Okay, we'll get this up. We got a break here coming to lose soon, but keep talking until the break comes, okay?
Okay, well, here we see, I mentioned his sun is at 8 Virgo, and the eclipses will be, the last one was conjunct his Mars, as it was with Trump. The February one is opposite his Mars.
There's our commercial, buddy. We'll be right back with Bill Meridian of Cycles Research in just a moment.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I think we're have a slide here on North Korea. Is that correct, Bill?
Yes, this is the national horoscope of North Korea.
Yeah, this has got a lot of interest, so fire away what you think.
Yeah, well, if we just, if you look at that, the last two eclipses were 26 Leo back in August that I just mentioned. The next one is about 29 Leo, 26 Aquarius. And if you look, you see that's right on their Saturn. That is not a positive. So switch to the next slide, Larry, page 9. And here I outlined it. The August 2017 and February 2018 solar eclipses are 0 and 1. This next one is 180 in February to Saturn. That's not positive. August 2018, that solar eclipse is right on their Pluto. But February 2019, the progressed Sun squares Saturn. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, it generates conditions, and it usually begins about 9 months before it's exact. So you're talking about going from the frying pan now with the eclipses hitting Saturn to the eclipse hitting Pluto in the summer, and then this thing kicks in. So from now through about the end of 2019, it looks to me like they're in a great deal of economic trouble, and I don't know how this is going to play out, but it appears to me that the brakes are going to be put on them. And let me just say, I was at the CLSA conference in Tokyo about 8 or 10 years ago, and a North Korean de facto got up and through an interpreter said every year $3 to $5 billion goes from South Korea up to North Korea, and he said if you just pull that away, the whole state would collapse. He said, but they get very well-educated people somehow through the system into key positions of power. And as the New American Magazine just wrote, most of their money comes from China, Russia, and the UN. Nobody out there has any product ever made by North Korea. They don't sell anything. And so if anybody wants to pull a plug on this, they can just simply stop funding them. So obviously somebody wants this to continue, but I don't think they're a very real threat. I think their internal economy is getting worse by the minute. And this does not look positive for them.
Well, they say that, you know, this missile that went up, it burned up when it came back into the atmosphere. But gosh, who knows about that? All I can remember is that movie Russia House with Sean Connery, which was supposedly a true story, that Russia, even though they had some missiles, they were not even able to hit Montana, let alone a city in the United States. So whether that's true or not, it might be true with Korea. I'm not sure.
Well, you know, Larry, when I was in the Middle East, I got to talk to a lot of military people, and I talked to one of the telemetry operators on an Aegis missile cruiser. And he said he watches these Iranian launches, and he says he's watching them on the screen. They go up so far, and they go poof. And he said they're not practicing EMP, electromagnetic pulse attacks. He says as he watches on his screen, pieces are falling off the rocket. He says it's so poorly made, it just disintegrates. That's why it's not getting up high.
Okay. We got a caller from Las Vegas, Nevada, one of our favorite people who has a very interesting name. His name is Larry. Larry, go ahead. You got Bill Meridian on the line.
Oh, great.
Oh, hi,
Thank
Larry.
you. Morning, Bill. I just wanted to ask you about the astrology sign of the United States. Now, the country was founded by many Masons. And do you think it was just coincidence that
No.
We have this birth sign, and then we have all this good fortune, or do you think it was just accidental?
No, I agree with you. I think it was by design. And in Muscat in Oman, they say I've never met the Sultan, but they say he's very motivated by astrology, and he picked a time for his new country using astrology. So I agree with you. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Enjoyed it.
Hey, thanks for calling in, Larry. We always like to hear from you.
Bye.
You bet. Hey, folks, you don't remember this. Well, I remember this, but my little hospital that I was born in was burned down back in the early 40s, and I didn't know exactly when I was born. And Bill Meridian did a rectified horoscope on me to tell me that I was born at 11:50 in the morning on July 28th, and that was spot on. My aunt later told me it was right before midnight. So that was 30-some years ago, Bill, when I first met you back in Chicago.
Well, that's because my teacher, Charles Jane, was the Grand Master of Rectification, something he did for over 50 years.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, let's go to the gold chart. This is one that's really interesting.
I wanted to give a brief rundown on the markets. And what the dashed line you see is my best guess estimate, a cycle projection. And as you can see, it peaked here in November, but really rolled over. It's rolling over in December. And so I think gold is down. I'm not showing you the weekly cycle, but the weekly cycle also bottoms on December 14th and 15th. And also I get a number of day and week counts coming out. Those are counts from prior highs and lows, all coming out to the 14th and 15th, which should give us one more rally into the end of the month. So basically it's down into mid-month, up into the end of the month. And of course, the month of December has seen more highs than any other month in the calendar year. So we might very well see a down January here.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And of course, what gold has working against it, if you go to the next slide, is higher interest rates.
Okay.
And here you're looking at this is the weekly note cycle, but the monthly points in the same direction. And you'll note right here on December 9th, which is only at the end of this week, we get a low here, but we're also getting a low in the monthly cycle within the next few days after that. And if you see below that, PT means projected turning point. It's a projection days or weeks from prior lows or highs. So I'm saying the 7th is likely a low because it matches this graph, which makes the 15th, well, it's likely a high. And the 19th through the 25th have been the weakest part of the month in any year. So the 27th, you're likely to get a low. Though December is not a strong month for bonds. So if you're looking for a solid entry point, I don't think you're going to have it here. If there is going to be one, it'll be at the end of the month. But basically, it's in a trading range, and bonds are in a bear market. But as our late friend Paul Montgomery would remind us, most of the damage to bonds comes late in the bear market, and it hasn't even started yet. So if you're a bond trader, you're probably going to get a lot of what you see on the screen right here. Very excellent short-term trading operations, trading opportunities, I should say. And of course, the kiss of death is that CalPERS, the largest pension fund in the U.S. out in California, has decided to make a major shift into bonds. So
wow.
That's a contrary opinion sell signal.
Wow, that's interesting.
So,
the next one we have is we get to the oil market here, Bill?
Yeah, now that's the monthly cycle for oil. And you'll notice I did not believe it, and you had me on, and August, if oil closes the month of August on the downside, there's a very 3 and 4 probability it will be lower, but obviously that has not happened. I decided to disregard this cycle and go with the August rule, which was incorrect. So here you have, right now, you've got major resistance at like 63 to 65 or so. I think it's going to go through there very shortly, maybe this week, and go to 70, 75. And let me just say that one thing I underestimated, I sent you that BAI activity index graph, Larry, and subscribers to my newsletter get one sent to them by post for free when they sign up. And it showed the cycle projection was for economic recovery to begin in the second half of 2017, which it has. And I think the demand is so strong that it's pulling oil up, and it's pulling interest rates up. And as I mentioned before, I don't think bank analysts have factored strong loan demand into their projections. So the earnings projections on banks are all very low, and we have an ad coming up.
Listen, we got a little a break, but could you stay with us for the last segment,
Sure.
Bill?
Yeah, I want to
Thank
get
you.
the stock market. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, stock market cover next. 877-927-6648.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's that time of year again. The TFNN Salvation Army Tiger Dollar Holiday Sale is back. Through this Sunday only, you can get a 25% bonus on any Tiger Dollar purchase, and up to 10% of whatever you spend will be donated to the Salvation Army in your name. This sale only comes around once a year and is one of the most rewarding promotions we have. Tiger Dollars are a great way to add extra savings to any TFNN product or service. Whether you're considering signing up for any newsletter or workshop in the future, or you're already a subscriber, Tiger Dollars offer an immediate savings on any TFNN newsletter, webinar, workshop, or Master Trader series. And they never expire and are fully transferable to friends and family. For all the details and to take part in this special promotion, visit the front page of TFNN.com before this sale ends Sunday, December 3rd. And happy holidays from TFNN. Basil Chapman will be hosting a full-day Master Trader class Friday, December 8th from 9 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. This live 7.5-hour online class will teach you the complete concepts of Basil's Chapman Wave trading methodology, along with a variety of indicators and charting patterns that Basil uses on a daily basis, including the concept of higher peaks and lower troughs, the importance of the peak D, buy and sell modes, sustaining rallies and declines, MACD, stochastic, moving averages, on-balance volume, and much more. Everyone that attends will also receive Basil's CD book introducing the Chapman Wave methodology, a $249 value, along with 1 month of his daily trading newsletter, The Opening Call, a $128 value. Basil will be using live charts where and when possible in the webinar to show the concepts of his trading methodology, which works on all time frames. For all the details and to reserve your spot today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're talking with Bill Meridian of Cycles Research, Vienna, Austria. Bill, you want to tell us a little bit about what you're seeing in stocks here? Because no one seems to know, so fire away.
No. Well, I thought it would be a bullish year. I just
you became bullish in October. I have to remember that. As soon as it took off, I think it was around the 15th. You switched from
bullish way back in the. I said the year would be up January to January, but I got these. I followed the 1-4-10-year cycle incorrectly in 4 months of the year. So, anyway, that brings us up to the present. But right now, we're coming up to the single most bullish. I optimized the end of the month period that was originally discovered by my old friend Arthur Merrill, and I found out that the end of the month bullish period runs in December from December 15th through January 6th for 22 days, and it lifts the market on average 2.5%, and it's been up 79.8% of the time, which is the longest and the strongest of all the end of month periods if you optimize them on a monthly basis. So given the strength I see now, I don't think that can abate. And I thought there would be a sell-off here on Monday because there were numerous turning points. And I actually had a short position. I closed out long positions Thursday night. and went short. And when I saw the S&P down 35 points, I said, wait a minute, on Friday, it can't keep declining. There's something wrong here. And so I just set a rule in my head. If it retraces more than 50% of that during Friday, I'm going to sell it out. And I did. And as it turns out, now we're up quite big here. So I just think we're going up into the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. This makes good sense because nothing has stopped it so far. We have a question about, do you have any feeling on the stock of Apple?
Hold on a minute. I just happen to have the system open and I can put Apple up immediately. I just wasn't anticipating getting asked about it, but well, my feeling is, and most of these big techs are going to correct a bit here, so I'd rather own something else.
Okay, Bill, thanks for joining us, my friend,
Sure.
And may God bless and a happy holidays to you.
Thank you. A happy holiday to you and your family, Larry. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.